JP Alexander for the Rabid Dogs Unleashed. It is Sunday, August 8th, 2021. It's almost 8 o'clock at night, and I have to give my opinion on this article I just read in Yahoo News. I go to Yahoo because I have an account in Yahoo, and also because I like to see the news there once in a while. It's vastly, for the most part, on the left. They have some articles by Fox News once in a while, but for the most part, most of these articles on here are from the left side. I don't think they have their own news. They take news from other organizations. I don't know. All I know is this is an article written by Sophia Ankel, A-N-K-E-L. I never heard of her, but I don't know a lot of writers either. She writes for the Business Insider. And it says, Joe Rogan says having vaccine passports would move the country one step closer to a dictatorship. I believe that, and I think a lot of people on all sides of the aisle believe that, not just right and left, people in the middle, people vastly right, a little left, vastly left. I think a lot of people believe that on all sides. I don't even know if this is much of a bipartisan issue. And yeah, it does. It's, you're saying to people you have to get a passport or you can't go inside places and you're going to be shunned. And I think that is, yeah. You're getting closer to a dictatorship. One step closer, sure. I don't think we're a dictatorship now, no. I think we're probably closer to it than we ever have been during this administration when they're having, input into Yahoo and what Yahoo says. I think that's getting a little crazy, I think. But that's just me. And this is just Joe Rogan. I got a picture of Rogan here, which doesn't look too, which looks kind of insulting. It looks like a goofball in that picture. I have to admit, when I first saw Joe Rogan on news radio back in the 90s, I wasn't a fan. Then I saw him do that stupid show, Fear Factor, which I didn't like that show, it was stupid. But then I saw his stand-up around that time, and I saw him, I heard him on Opie and Anthony, and I came to like him then. And since he's MMA, he's a commentator, which he's a great commentator on that. And his podcast I love. I think he is the king of podcasting. I think he found his true calling is this. I think he's great at it. I think he should stick with it. I think he's a perfect mix of letting the people talk on the show and also injecting his opinions without being too overbearing. There's a lot of people he doesn't agree with, but he lets them speak, and it never got heated, and he always lets people from all sides. His show has the most diverse, when it comes to the guests on the show, it's such a diverse, nobody has more of a diverse. Nobody. Any late night talk show, you're not going to have the guests he has. You're not going to have that. Because you're not going to talk to these people because the audience wouldn't know who they were. He gives everybody a forum to speak, and he lets them speak. And he lets them speak, and again, he doesn't spew his beliefs and throws people off his show. No, he just lets them talk, everybody. And he becomes friends with a lot of these people, even if he doesn't agree with them, which I think is exactly what we need more in this country. Not like something like Jennifer Aniston, which really upset me when I heard that she's stopped being friends with a lot of people. And which it doesn't upset me. I really don't care. But you stop being friends with people who are vaccinated. That's a little extreme. I mean, you basically cut off. That's like saying I don't like somebody because he's black. That's the same thing. I don't like somebody because they're Jewish. But what you're doing is you're cutting off a lot of people who might be great friends of yours, who might be great lifelong friends of yours, and help you in times of need and trouble. I mean, that's why you should be open to be friends with everybody. No matter what and that's just the same thing we're doing with the vaccine. We're saying, well, you don't get the vaccine, you're a fucking piece of shit. And that's what this lady's doing to Joe Rogan for even suggesting such things. But let me get on with the article and I'll comment on it. There's a few bullet points here. One is Joe Rogan said, implementing vaccine passports would move the U.S. one step closer to dictatorship. Okay, that's what he believes. I believe that too. I think a lot of other people, all sides of the aisle, even probably on the same side of the aisle as Sophia Ankel, believe that way. Obviously, Sophia Ankel does not believe that way. I'm just guessing, but I wouldn't think she does. Rogan criticized the passports, which will be used in New York City on his podcast on Friday. His comments were shared by some right-wing figures, such as Donald Trump Jr., Wow, how about some left-wing figures? Are any left-wing figures who agree with that? Or anybody on the left who agree with that? Anybody? Nobody on the left. Only Donald Trump Jr. is the only notable person who agrees. I love how you say some right-wing people, such as Donald Trump Jr. How about left-wing people who might agree with them? I think there's a lot of left-wing people who agree with them and say, yeah, that does sound like a dictatorship. I agree with, getting the vaccine, but I don't agree with these passports. A lot of people, I think, believe that. How about mentioning them? No, you only mention Donald Trump Jr. because you want to associate Joe Rogan with it, because you want to associate Joe Rogan with racist, homophobic, sexist. A lot of things you want to, draw him on, even though you have no proof that he's any of those things, except that Donald Trump Jr. agreed with what he said. A lot of people agree with what he said. I think more people in the United States agree with what he said than agree with what you said. I know. It's a big leap there, but I think so. Okay? Okay. Let me just go on more about this. Podcast host Joe Rogan criticized the idea of having vaccine passports, saying the requirement would mean the country is moving one step closer to today's share. Again, during the episode of the Joe Rogan Experience on Friday, Rogan told guest Evan Haffer, I don't know who that is, that I don't know who the writer of this article is either, that the problem with applauding vaccine passports is that politicians are not going to give that power up. The power to just say, hey, you need a vaccine passport or you're not going to be able to get into this restaurant. Is that the way the owners of the restaurant want it, or is that the way you want it? Again, dictatorship. Sounds like that to me. When you give people freedom, you let people do whatever the fuck they want. Of course, they have the little F there with the thing. I thought the F word was the other F word. I think we have two F words you can't use. Ooh, that's a bad word. Ooh, 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 ooh. Don't cuss. Don't cuss here. It's called curse. R. That R makes it heavier. It's a curse. It's not a cuss. I've always hated when people say cussing. You're cussing. No, I'm cursing. I'm not cussing. Okay, whatever the fuck they want to do. They actually find ways to succeed and grow and thrive. Yes, that's exactly what it is. We're not a communist. Yes, we do that. That's why we've invented great things in this country, because we're not stifled to work in the Lada car plant with a 180 IQ next to somebody with a 90 IQ and live in the same apartment. That'll turn anybody into an alcoholic. I might as well get drunk because I only need 1/10 of my brain power to make a Lada. They all look the same. The only difference is one's black, one. A Lada from 20 years earlier was the same fucking thing. Anyway, a lot of people don't know what a Lada is. I'm not going to go into it. Actually, you find ways to succeed and thrive. Okay, but as soon as you put boots to them, I guess as soon as you hold them in one place and say they can't do that, as soon as you tell them you have to do this or you can't do that, you have to listen to me. Yeah, it sounds like a dictatorship. No, you have a mini dictatorship. I think you have a full-fledged dictatorship. I'm going to go one step further. You don't have a mini-me dictator. You have a maximum dictator. You have the Dr. No of dictators. The Dr. No. The Dr. Evil of dictators. You don't have the mini-me of dictators. Anyway, that sounds pretty stupid. You have one step away from a king, one step closer. You're moving one step closer to a dictatorship. That's what the fuck is happening, he continued. I believe that, yes. That's what's going to happen with a vaccine passport. That's what's going to happen if they close borders. I don't know what that means. I don't know if they said they're going to close borders. It's funny. They don't close borders unless it has to do with the COVID. Rogan's comments received praise from right-wing figures, including Donald Trump Jr. Again, probably got praise from left-wing figures, too, that you're not mentioning because you want to push an agenda. Your agenda. You don't want to push any other agenda. You don't want to tell all the facts. You just want to say the facts that add credence to your agenda, not what it might be. Which I feel, again, I'm reading this. I don't see anything wrong with any of this, and I think people on the left would agree with me on this one. I think you're way off the mark here, but But of course, you're going to spew your... I love when people write articles. Is this reporting or is just spewing your belief? And wonder how you would care what Sophia Ankel's opinions are anyway. What do you care what mine are? I'm not really even saying my opinions here. I'm just saying that I think this woman's a fucking asshole for writing this article like this. She words it the way she words it. Anyway, Rogan, who has a $100 million deal with Spotify. Oh, I love how she puts that in there. Like that has anything to do with anything. Maybe she wants Rogan to get canceled so Spotify could draw him off and get her on there. Hey, Spotify, I agree with you 100%. You won't have any trouble with me. Okay, give me the $100 million and I'll follow your lead and get this guy off. That's what this sounds like to me. Let me knock him off the fucking mountain. Well, guess what? No one wants to listen to your ass, okay? Sophia Ankle. You probably have a little small percent of the population that want to listen to your opinion. Probably more people believe in this, what Joe Rogan's saying. I think more people believe in a dictatorship than want to listen to what the fuck you have to say on Spotify. I'm just going to go that far and to spew that out there. He's one of the most powerful and controversial figures in media. He's powerful. Controversial? I never heard Joe Rogan controversial. Controversial? Why? Because you don't agree with him? Controversial. Joe Rogan's giving his opinion on things. He even said, I'm an expert. I'm Joe Rogan. I'm an MMA commentator. I'm a stand-up guy. I'm an actor sometimes. I'm a podcast guy. That's what I believe. I don't know. You don't have to give what you believe. Controversial. I don't. He's one of the most powerful. I don't think he's controversial at all. I haven't. Maybe some people believe that, like you. Anyway, his series, The Joe Rogan Experience, boosted a reported $11 million listeners per upload, according to the Washington Post. Washington Post, they're not biased in any way. So Washington Post, of course, whatever they say has to be true. He's previously aired COVID-19 misinformation and once suggested that young and healthy do not need vaccines, the BBC reported. Again, they're taking things from the Washington Post and BBC because you can't find more than one article from one thing that agree with it. Yeah. You know, Joe Blow from Saturday morning cartoon on Nickelodeon says that blah, 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 blah. Oh, who the fuck are you? You know, 4 stars from the Iowa Herald on Eeks Ballistic. Eeks and Sever got 4.5 stars. Best movie I've seen all year. From the fucking the Utah Herald, you know. It's like just take reports from anywhere. Just take reports from publications that believe what I believe. In April, he clarified he was not an anti-vax person, adding, I believe they're safe and encouraging. Encourage many people to take them, according to the BBC. Yeah, just maybe not people that young. That's all he's saying. And that's, again, what he believes. Why would you listen to what Joe Rogan believes anyway? I just listen to his podcast to get the other people on his show. Some people who are experts on time and space are speaking, and I think it's very interesting. Comments on Friday came as New York City announced it would require proof of vaccination for people participating in indoor activities like dining and restaurants, wearing out to gym. If New York City wasn't ruined already, good. Let's just go one step further to really fucking ruin the whole city. The best city in the world, in my opinion, is really starting to go some notches down. I was there a few weeks ago, and it's changing. It's changing. I don't know. My New York City's gone. And it's not my New York City anymore. I don't think it ever was. And that's where I was born. That's where I grew up around Long Island, around New York City, within an hour of Manhattan. Whatever. That's another sad case. That's a story for another time. COVID-19 cases, fueled largely by the Delta variant, are on the rise across the country. The U.S. has reported more than 35 million coronavirus cases since the start of the pandemic, according to data from Johns Hopkins University. 35 million cases since the start of the pandemic. That's about 1/10 of the population. Got it. Okay, how many people died from it? I'm not saying it's not a big deal, but I think more people lived from it than died from it. And anyway, again, I'm not going to spew my beliefs on this, which I think I already have. I pretty much agree with Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan, you're great. You're fantastic. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't listen to this fucking lady. I don't think she has an agenda here, and I don't know if she believes this or she was told to write an article like this. I won't be surprised if there's a bunch of people somewhere, paying people and saying, hey, I want you to write an article crashing him. And we'll put it on Yahoo because we own Yahoo. We own their ass. We're going to tell them to put this shit out there. And it's just shit to put you down. It's just shit that they want Spotify to see and get you off the platform. And if they do get you off the platform, Joe, fuck them. Keep doing your show. Keep doing what you do because you're great at it, Joe. You want me on a show? I'll come on a show. You want to do a double show with me and you? Hey, Joe, I'll tell you what. I'll take the maximum I need to be happy, $250,000 a year. Give me $250,000 a year. I don't need, even if you offered me, if you offered me $250,000 a year to be on your show, or you offered me $100 million to be on some other fucking show that I don't agree with some asshole host that I have to yes him to death, I'll go on your show for $250,000. Now how much I like you and I love what you're doing. You're great, man. Stick to your guns and fuck this bitch, okay? Fuck this asshole. Excuse me, not bitch. Asshole. Fuck her and keep doing what you're doing, Joe, because you're a classic. You're one of a kind. You're perfect. This is your medium. You own this shit. Stay true. Stick to your guns, and God bless you. Okay? Anyway, that's all I got to say about this. This is JP Alexander for the Rabid Dogs Unleashed. And until the next time, ciao.